Before the video starts, I just want to say there are videos for every single class played for in tier 3 content at basically maximum eye level. Every single class is like 1550 in the videos in the description down below. So that's actually really good content you can learn. And maybe you could be like, oh, what if I want to try out this class? All you got to do is go to the description, watch the video, and see if you like the class or not. By the way, golden hands in this tier list means 95% of players are going to be bad at it, 5% are going to be insane at it. Alright, first things first, we're going to start with Blaster. Super underrated class. Now, the reason I put him on A tier is because he only has one downside, and the downside is he has no mobility. Now, the reason he doesn't need mobility is because he gets a shield that gives him a fuck ton of absorb, like so much defense. And when you have that shield up, you can't get knocked back. You're immune to knockback completely. And another down thingy majingi is the fact that you have to time his Moabs. Other than that, super solid class. Now I'm gonna put Shadow Hunter right next to Blaster. Now the thing is, the funding on Shadow Hunter is so cheap, bro. You literally only have to buy 2 gems, a couple of tripods, and you get so much stronger because all you need is gauge tripods, and you're good to go. And the reason you need 2 gems is because both gems will go for all of your demonic form skills. And demonic form is basically you just spam a fuck ton of buttons. If you like spammy classes, this is like the perfect class. I enjoy spamming. I think it's a lot of fun, and the damage is really solid, and you can heal yourself as a demonic. So first class is gonna go on Golden Hands is Blade. Now I'm talking about Burst Blade here. Burst Blade has insane damage potential, but it's also really hard to play. First of all, you have to crit your strongest Burst Blade skill, and you also have to back attack it. So you have to be really experienced knowing when the fuck you could back attack the fucking boss, and you also kind of have to get lucky on the crit. If you do get crit and the back attack, that's so much damage, and if you keep doing that consistently, you're easily gonna get MVP by like 65,000%. Super strong class, super hard to play, and kind of squishy, not that squishy. So the first class that's going to go on S tier is Devil Hunter. Now listen, Devil Hunter is known as the hardest class to play. I mean, one of the hardest classes to play nowadays. And it actually is. The reason is because you have to back attack and you're also melee. That's pretty fucking tough. Now the upsides is you have so much mobility, but another downside is you're also really fucking squishy. So being squishy and having to back attack as a melee, that's a hard job to do. Anyways, all your damage comes from your shotguns. Your snipers are just fillers, but the class itself, it's really fun, but also really hard and rewarding. Hawkeye was actually known as one of the worst classes not that long ago until they recently got a buff, and now they're actually super solid. Now the thing is, if you're playing Hawkeye, you're looking for a super chill class, and you're also looking for a ranged bow guy type of guy. It's literally what you're looking for. I think he's kind of simple when it comes to his difficulty. He's not hard to play at all, and I've also heard other streamers say that it's really chill and fun and cozy. So I think if you want to just have fun, not try hard, I'll play Hawkeye. Okay, so Gunslinger is literally the opposite of Hawkeye. Gunslinger, you have to like open your eyes wide open while you're playing, because if you get hit once, you're basically just dead. Now the thing with this class is, I'm pretty sure this class has the highest mobility in the game, besides the fact that you can't jump over the boss. She doesn't have a move like that, like Reaper does or Blade. But her damage potential is actually insane. I was gonna put her in Golden Hands, but I decided not to. But I mean, you could take it as a Golden Hands class. Super high damage potential, super squishy. Okay, so Holy Knight is one of the 3 supports. The third being the artist that just released in Korea a while ago. But we're gonna be talking about the Holy Knight. Now the Holy Knight plays kind of like a DPS. Don't get me wrong though, he doesn't know damage. What I mean by kind of like a DPS is you have to attack the boss to get your gauge, and then with your gauge you can actually use your heals and other stuff. But anyways, his buffs are absolutely amazing, and he's also super easy, chill class to play. I recommend people to play Holy Knight because, yeah. Okay, so something I forgot to say about the Holy Knight that also goes for the Bard is that they're both super cheap to build. You can probably have one engraving on your Bard or Holy Knight, and people will literally still take you. I'll probably take you. Now, the difference between the Bard and the Holy Knight is the Holy Knight gives a lot of attack bar buffs, and the Bard is more of a support healing type of player. So basically, like if you're bad at the game or if you want to get more heals rather than attack bar buffs, I recommend you to get a Bard. And if you want to make a Bard, super chill class, easy to play. Alright, so Sork is the second class that goes on the Golden Hands tab or whatever. Now the reason I put Sork on the top of the top is because she also has the highest burst in the game. Now the thing is, for you to do the highest amount of damage, is you have to actually land your whole burst. Now most players are probably going to miss their burst, and honestly, sometimes you just can't even blame them because the boss is just going to move an inch, and then the meteor is going to land on absolutely nothing. So the class Sork is kind of RNG, and is also really hard to play, super squishy with no mobility. I mean, a little bit of mobility. Alright, so Scrapper is literally just a puncher. You just punch all the time. In my opinion, I don't like the Scrapper because her animations look kind of lame and they look kind of old compared to like the newer classes that are super flashy, like Striker or Sorceress. But nonetheless, the class is good. The only downside is that you have to back attack. Everything else is really solid, as you can see. 4.5 damage, 5 mobility, 5 impairment, and the difficulty is pretty high up there simply because you just have to back attack. Nonetheless, super fun class. Pretty fast too. Alright, next up on the list is Soulfist. Soulfist I put second on A tier. Right next to Infighter, I think they're both like equal when it comes to damage, although Infighter is sustained damage and Soulfist is straight up burst. Now this is the class that does the Kamehameha and also the other awakening name. I forgot the anime name for it. But this class has the strongest awakening in the game. The highest number I've seen it hit for was 700 million. Literally like almost 1 billion. That's fucking insane. But nonetheless, the class is really fun, super mobile, and just a solid class to play. Alright, now, Striker. There's a class that actually made it to the B tier. Now, the thing is, there's not many classes on B or C tier because the balancing team on Lost Ark is really good. Anyways, the reason I put Striker on B tier is because you have to back attack on a positional where you have to charge up as well. Plus, keep in mind the meta build is spec based, so it's not like you have Agi to make the charge up faster, and it's not like you use Supercharge. Class is really hard to play in my opinion, and the damage potential is insane for it to be like that difficult to play in my opinion. Okay, now this next class is broken. I've also played this class. I mean, I played every class in this list besides like two of them, like Warlord and Bard. But the reason this class is broken is because its buff is an 18% crit chance on like a 5-second downtime. Also, you don't need a back attack on this class, but getting that 10% crit chance is pretty nice, and the damage potential is way too high for this class in my opinion. This class is just broken overall, and it's also not that hard to play as well. If you want to just like get MVP all the time, be really solid, just play a Battle Master. Like, it's not that hard to play. So Berserker is your average, warrior class on every MMO. Dude has a really big sword, and his new engraving, which is Madness, makes him look with black and white lightning. It looks really sick. I actually might main this class on NA. I don't know yet, but the damage potential is really high. It's not squishy, and it's also not slow. It's pretty fast. It has a really fast dash. But the difficulty is 5 out of 5 because it's easy to get into, but it's hard to master. Nonetheless, though, I'm definitely making one super fun and kind of OP to be honest. Okay, you know how I said Berserker is kind of OP? Listen, bro, this class is broken, okay? This class, the only downside in this class is it has no mobility, but it doesn't need it. Look at the fucking tankness in this shit. 500 out of 5. 500 impairment and destruction out of 5. 500 buffs. This character can taunt certain bosses and also has a really big shield as if you couldn't tell. Now the difficulty, if you play Blue Warlord, difficulty is really easy. Red Warlord, you have to head attack, and the damage potential would be probably like a 4.5.